hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. This is episode 91. I'm Matty, joined by Colin and John tonight. How are you doing, guys?
Good. We're calling this the Skull Cup episode. Or are we keeping it away from the football?
I call it Skull Cup episode if you like. We didn't normally name
Snake.
Shortbangers once, do we? So
No.
Somebody asked us on Hibsnet who came up with the names because we called the last one Norwegian Wood.
I saw that.
Had to explain the reference for it.
Oh, it
Yeah.
makes sense now, aye, because we were all getting excited about young Elias.
Aye. Right, we'll get straight into it. First one's Gordon Kemp. This is a pet peeve. Folk who walk to COVID passport checkpoints with the phone still in their pocket, get it out and open the app on approach. It's no difficult. Have you had your COVID passport checked anywhere yet?
Easter Road twice and Hampden once.
I can't remember if they checked
When
it.
they say check it, they just want to open the fucking app.
Aye.
Nobody looks at it because I put it on a different page to see, do you want that, mate, or do you want another thing? And they're like, that's fine. Nobody cares. It's just like if you got the app on your phone, that's all
Aye.
they're bothered about.
I've
I
had
had that Easter Road.
cursory checks. I've never had anything in depth. I've watched people try to work out like what their PIN number is for that and say to the boy, "Oh, I'm trying to work out," and I went, "Aye, fucking you go."
Aye. But
Anyone going to Easter Road, anyone that's got the COVID passport whose pass number isn't 1875, I'm fucking amazed.
Yeah. It's like that bit in Train Spotting too, eh?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Mine is in 1875, by the way, if anybody.
nah, there's mine. Just the interest.
1975. No.
Yeah, the year of birth.
No. Close, but no. Ewan Wilson, pet peeves. Cunts that sit in your few rows and an empty train carriage. So what are you
what's
doing
that?
with your own? It says cunts that sit in your few rows in an empty train carriage.
What does that mean?
So I
Your
think it
few
just
rows?
like why are you hogging a few rows, Ewan? So I suppose
You're lying along
if
it
it's-
like, what's it?
I think I can.
Yeah.
I suppose the point would be if it was completely empty, they didn't need to sit near you at all. But I think
Aye.
or if you're with folk, I suppose you might be taking up a couple of rows.
Aye, like maybe I don't know on row. I would see if it's a completely empty train carriage and you're at one of the bits that's got like the room for the table, but there isn't a table there. And they were sat in the same seats but to
That's
your
wheelchair
left, for
space,
example,
John.
or to your right. Is
You're
that?
describing. You're taking the disabled seat.
No. I'm definitely no.
There's a theme coming through here.
I was just thinking, fucking hell, where are we going here?
Aye.
There
Train
are
club?
definitely 4 seats,
I
Two-
will claim.
two facing each other. Aye, so it doesn't matter if you were sitting there or if you're sat on the other side. Someone who sits immediately parallel to you when there's an entire carriage that's available to you,
Uh-huh.
that is a bit. It's no, I don't know if it would bug me that much, but it is a wee bit like,
Aye, why are you
Why?
sitting there?
why are you
Yeah.
sitting there? Especially because there's every chance that when they've come in the doors, everyone's scanned, everyone has a look about to say, where am I going to sit? Why would you go and sit close to someone? No, fuck it. I'm with you, and that's fucking weird. That's banging the order. Give me my space, give me my privacy, give me my,
They
my
few rows are-
£7.70
They-
space that I've paid for.
My problem with it is he's saying it's his few rows. No, they're not his.
Like you have a seat. You don't have a row, do you? You have a seat.
No,
But if
And-
it
and
was empty, then I would say
I agree
there
with
is
that.
there is probably like a boundary, not just to the one seat. Like if you were sat around like the table and they sat opposite you, for example,
Yeah.
that would be weird as anything.
No, it's like urinal etiquette. You didn't stand
Yeah.
next to the boy who's having a piss.
Yeah.
Unless there's no other choice.
Aye, unless you have to.
And I didn't do that anyway because I get pee shit.
Also, you and people that claim they can't sit backwards on the train. I agree with them on that one. It's just somebody who doesn't
Aye,
want to sit backwards
It's
on it.
motion sickness, eh? They kind of.
My life says got that shite, to be honest.
When they buy it, nothing wrong with you. Slow walkers in general, but specifically in supermarkets, get in and get out. It's no Harvey Nicks.
Yeah.
I like how you
That's annoying.
mark that tweet as part 1 as well. Like there's more to come.
He's like, God, he was on a page. What day he said? Just cleansing his
These were
soul
back
before New Year.
Mid December. It must have been Christmas shopping or something. I think folk found this dead cathartic. They're having a wee rant at Shortbangers. Dave Graham, people leaving early at the football. Don't give me the we need to catch the bus pish either.
Aye.
I'm never a fan of folk
So
leaving
weird
early
one,
at the football.
I do. I've done it
if
in a
they're crossing
rage
past you, but
before. Yeah, I know. It's the East Stand and that is one of the worst for me because of the how long it takes to get out. But you watch football, like anything you watch on the telly, nobody seems to leave early. But when you go to Easter Road, and I know it'll happen elsewhere, and I know it's maybe because you're watching it and it's annoying you more because it's Hibs, but you watch football on the telly and folk are there at the end, clapping teams off and
aye.
and all that. Like, whereas I know even last week against Aberdeen, because I was trying to avoid as much contact as I could 2 weeks ago against Aberdeen, because I sit right at the exit. As soon as the whistle went, we were like, fucking away down the stairs. But it's like a mad. There's folk piling up, jumping over the stairs and that for the rows in
Aye.
front of us to get to the exit. Like at the end, it's like some kind of assault course. Everybody's trying to get down the stairs first.
I didn't get the folk who are when it's like a tight game, like you're maybe 1-0 up,
Aye.
and you're trying to see it out, and they go 5 minutes to go. You think, fucking hell,
I know. It's
see the
crazy,
last 5 minutes, or a 0-0, you know, or a 1-1 or whatever. And you're maybe pushing for a winner. It's I get it. It's like, why would you, that's the climax of the game,
Yeah.
and if you score, that's like the best moment of the match. Why would you risk missing it?
I know. It's mad. I don't understand it because the buses don't just stop at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? They keep going. So
Aye.
I don't understand that.
John,
Just when you talked
Talkable.
about climax, then it's almost like having a really good ride, but then never coming in it, like leaving early.
I get off at Haymarket.
Aye, just no. Stay at the final whistle.
Aye, see it out. Michael said people that drive 30 miles an hour on a 40 mile an hour road. Aye.
Yeah.
Can
Do you know
agree with
what?
that?
I think some of these pet peeves could be easily remedied with some proper infrastructure. So one of the things I think that we lack here in comparison to other countries, like so when I was in New Zealand, they have passing places for people in particular who maybe like tourists, for example. If you aren't that familiar with the roads, but there's someone behind you that's going a bit quicker, that's a local, just pull over, let them past. We didn't have that here. That would solve that problem straight away.
Yeah. Get on
There you
dragging
go.
it then, John.
Aye, Kirby Nisbet for local planning officer.
Aye.
But
I've
the speed
got,
limit's a maximum, eh? I used to have this argument with my dad when he was teaching me. Be like, I'm going 40. He'd be like, 40 is a maximum.
Aye.
So maybe the person going fit is that I don't know what the acceptable limit underneath is because it becomes dangerous when you go too slow.
Aye. But if it's like a clear day, there's no straight roads and all the rest of it, there's no reason to be going under the speed limit, then you should probably drive with it.
I read something not that long ago that I think it was like maybe a newspaper had got in touch with like various police forces around the country because I think there's this idea that when it like with different speed cameras, I think you're meant to be given like a 10% leeway.
I think if it's a myth.
Well, some police forces that
10% plus
responded.
2.
Aye, it was like there was some of them. I think the idea is that there's that leeway because it's to prevent you from sitting looking at your speedo when you should be looking at the road, basically. Like you do get that, but obviously, like if it's like 80, 90 mile an hour or whatever, then you're just taking the piss. And I wonder if it should be 10% under the speed limit, then you're starting to cause an obstruction. Then you're starting to be a bit of a nuisance to other road
It's
users.
27 miles an hour.
Aye.
That's not giving you much margin. 18 mile an hour on a 20. That's what you're saying.
That's fucking quick math, Colin.
It's not really. We were good at maths, eh? Me and him, we've got standard
40
grade
high.
maths.
Aye. We've covered this before.
I got a 3 at standard grade, so.
Right. Neil said, what's your preferred method of disguising bevy for a dry train stroke bus? Mine would be red wine and a raspberry Lucasade sport bottle. That's Lee Griffiths as well, I think.
I would just go Coke, like a Pepsi Max and a Pepsi, like something rum with Pepsi Max or Jack Daniels with Pepsi Max and a Pepsi Max bottle.
Talking like
Or
2 litre
Coke or
bottle
whatever.
or 70
Oh
cl.
no, just like the 500ml ones. A couple of them, 2 or 3 of them. You're generally, it's only an hour, right? Well, it depends how far you're going, but talking football ones, it'd be an hour, wouldn't it? Generally,
Aye.
unless you've got Aberdeen.
You got a preferred
I've
way
never-
about it, John?
I've never really disguised it. I think any time I've ever really been going to away games, it's been on the train a lot. So, like, I've definitely drank on the train. It's usually been like cans of Tennent's, but nah, no on the bus. Don't think I've really taken a supporters bus properly for a while, apart from the down the slope one for the final.
Aye. Ray says the Longbangers not reading out one's tweet. Moral dilemmas about reading out tweets or not so as to prove a point.
Shouldn't have read that one, right?
I guess you just skip by it. We'll not discuss it. Read it, don't discuss it. Sorry, Ray.
Noted.
Mixu99, silent disco, the most pointless, cringiest, useless activity ever. He's ever done a silent disco? Do you think he'll ever do one?
Nah, I think I've got a pretty low tolerance level for gimmicky shite, and that is definitely gimmicky shite. It can fuck off.
Aye, I can't even see the appeal in it at all.
So you basically go with your own music on, eh? That's what it's like. Or do you take your own headphones, put your own music on, and dance to it? So everybody's doing like different sort of
they'll do their own
style
thing.
of dance.
I think unless they all put headphones on and listen to the same set,
Same
the
tune.
DJ.
I'd heard that when you went to these things that you got like a set of headphones and there was maybe like different stations that you could tune into, not that you took your own music.
Right, okay.
So maybe like one station was disco, another one was rock and whatever, so on and so forth. But having never been to this gimmicky shite, I don't know.
To be fair, I wouldn't even fancy going to like a normal disco these days. Kind of come. I feel out of place now, eh?
As soon as dancing gets involved, I'm just like,
Take your flares.
bootcut jeans with Timbies back in the old days.
Farquhar said folk eating crisps on their commute.
Oh, well.
Covered
Keep
that
my
before
thoughts on
calling
that.
out. Aye.
Aye.
Sure, still got the text
So
messages
what
with the
about
commentary of it as well.
What about if they ate with their mouth closed? Are crisps is that too
No,
audible a food?
What you generally find, I don't mind that. What you generally find is though they don't. It's like if they're sort of rude enough to do it on the commute anyway, that they just go full bore, full hog, and just do the whole fucking the whole thing. They didn't even try and soak it a wee bit to soften it up. Just
Who sucks on crisps like?
nobody. But if you're going to eat in public
You fucking
like that,
should.
Maybe you should.
or just in eating, how hungry can you be? You need the crisps right now. You know what I mean?
See,
I'll
do
be
you,
Substantial if you're hungry.
you guys ever get like a meal deal at Boots or Morrison's or that?
Aye.
Do you ever go for the crisps?
Nah.
No, do I? No, I tend to go. I think I'm more often than not because I'm lazy and there's a Morrison's just along the road. I can become. I wouldn't say fixated, but I become quite fond of certain items that people do. So in Boots, for example, try to think of what it would be in there.
Grapes and that.
They
All the
do a
good
nice
stuff.
cheese Ploughman's. But in Morrison's, they do like a wee bar at Rocky Road. That's like your wee sweet treat. That's what I like to get out of there. I don't often go for
think you
crisps.
should go for the best value when you're there. So like if you've got a
The
3-pack of
McCoy's
sandwiches,
crisps.
aye, but you pick the things that are the most expensive. That's always like the dream. If you're using like a Boots meal deal or whatever, is if you've got the 3-pack of sandwiches rather than the 2.
£5 sandwich, £3 packet of crisps.
A Red Bull or some like
And the 600ml Pepsi Max that you
smoothie.
get.
Aye,
That one.
that's it. So you feel like you're actually kind of getting like a really good deal that way.
Bargain
Like,
hunter.
sticking it to the man, isn't it? Like, haha, saved more than 90p in my meal. Ross Grieve said,
I was just going to ask like about length of commute because Colin seemed to be a wee bit perturbed by that. What sort of commutes are acceptable for eating a packet of crisps? Is it half an hour or more, an hour or more?
I don't think even an hour's acceptable. If you can't wait for an hour for a packet of crisps, like if you're not hungry and you've got an hour ahead of you, go and get a sandwich or something.
Oh, so you're saying like a packet of crisps on its own is unacceptable for a journey of an hour? If you're hungry, you should. Right, okay, I get that. That makes sense.
I think the mode of transport makes a difference as well, though. Like, it would annoy me more. There's no rationale for this right now. I'm thinking about it. It's totally unreasonable. But if you were sitting on the bus, if you get on the Princess Street going into the girl and somebody cracked open a packet of crisps, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, right? Because noisy. If you get the train, I wouldn't think about it at all. I wouldn't cross my mind. It'd be like, because folk quite often have food out of the train, either like crisps or kind of drinks out or whatever. The same with a plane. Folk, not that you
The plane.
no often we commute on a plane right enough, but you do sometimes.
Aye. It was a plane one, the one you're talking about, the commentary one I gave you the text,
Aye.
that was on the plane. But that was like a Bristol flight. It's fucking 50 minutes. It's like,
Aye.
how much do you need that packet of crisps?
Sure, it was a big packet of crisps as well. It wasn't like a normal size one.
Aye, one of the big fucking massive ones, sharing bag things.
Right, anyway, Ross Greaves said people who park on stripy lines at the end of parking bays in supermarket car parks.
Oh, I don't know.
And consider it car parkers at the supermarket is doing my head in. Like, there's no need for it, especially when there's loads of other spaces there. Just fucking park.
Are we talking about like the wee chevrons?
Yeah.
Like that you sometimes find in like the gap that's not quite big enough for a parking space, so they maybe just chuck some extra paint in there.
Aye, or they're at the end of a row, so that what is it? So that people can get into the corner without clipping other cars or like getting into trouble with it, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's maybe a time and a place that's all right to do that. Like there's, for example, at the gym that I go to, I often park way out on the right hand side because there is that extra wee sort of bit at the side. But I don't think I'm taking the piss there because right next to it is a curb and trees. Like it's not that wee sort of that wee run that you're describing. There's no way that anyone is coming down there or anything like that. And it is just because. Do you know what it stems from? Because I do hate inconsiderate parkers, but the people that are probably worse than inconsiderate parkers are the people that bash your motor and then fuck off. And that happened to me in our former workplace's car park. It was there over New Year and someone bashed the fucking motor. The first day of the new year, someone bashed the fucking motor. And of course, there was no security footage and nobody left any details. So now, any opportunity I get, I do actually try and get into wee spaces like that.
See the parking spaces outside, like Tesco or Marks and Spencer's, that the folks got as well, and it's collection points. Have you ever seen anybody sitting in the car waiting to collect anybody? Because it's generally just fucking parked. So why call it a collection point? Just call it extra fucking parking. I mean, there's never anybody waiting to collect anybody. You need to double park them. If you are collecting somebody, you double park it till somebody comes out. Just
who's really been getting on our tits recently is never thought about it before, but people who do not have children that park in the parent and child parking. Absolute fucking dicks.
Or the ones that go, they've got like a grown-up kid. You know, they're not maybe a full adult, but
like fucking 18
or whatever. But as a parent and a child, you go, fuck's sake, that's obviously not the point.
Is there a time limit on them, do you think? If you go in at, say, if you were to nip along now to the 24-hour Tesco, it's acceptable to parking it there. Because a child shouldn't be out at that time of night.
I agree with you. Right.
I think that's reasonable.
There's probably the same argument you can make for the disabled spaces as well. See if you left, I reckon like the first three or whatever, do you know, if they're empty and you went and take like the fifth one, if it's like 10 o'clock at night and the car park's empty, what difference is it making where you park? There's plenty.
I bet John just parks the disabled spaces anyway.
He probably does it all the time.
I'm sure we had a similar moral quandary that we discussed before. People don't view using disabled toilets the same way that there's a stigma against using disabled spaces. Why is that?
I don't know, and then there's less disabled toilets than there are disabled spaces because there's fucking loads of disabled spaces. It must be a percentage. Have you discussed that before? It must be a good 10, 15, 20%.
Might be like
a
a development thing.
Yeah, whereas the disabled toilets, there isn't as many.
you're not in for long with the toilet, were you? Like if you were,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't take the paper into a disabled toilet. Put it that way. Do you know, like because you would be conscious of it. So it's not like when you park your car, folk park their car and then they go and do their shopping. So they're using that space for ages. So you're kind of like, right, what are the? I suppose you're playing an odds game, aren't you? It's like, what are the chances the main toilet being full and there being loads of disabled folk needing to use the toilet, or at least another disabled person needing to use the toilet when you needed to go. So you could probably be in and out quite quick and no impact on anybody's convenience.
You mean they're shouting time?
Aye. But there is definitely a different view for it. Anyway, right, T.G. Willis.
Oh no. We discussed this. You need to go give it the proper pronunciation.
Is it T.G. Willis? Is it that? I can't
Oh,
remember. We did it,
I
John.
remember you said that at the time.
Aye. The new trend of football pundits repeatedly telling listeners to listen. And they did that as well. Pundits say, listen. I'm not saying he's had a bad game there, or listen, it's no easy to play football, or that's annoying.
Do you know, I didn't actually watch that much football on the TV. I watched, what was the game? The two games I watched. I watched Liverpool, Chelsea, and someone else recently. Someone was 3-0 up by half time. Was it West Ham? I think it was finished 3-2.
They got pulled back though. Yeah.
I turned it off at half time thinking, oh, that's that game finished then. Can't do miracles.
Watford, is it?
It's one of those things. I think we talked about it not that long ago. It was when I think I mentioned Cheryl Tweedy using absolutely and then absolutely just entered common usage, but in the entirely wrong place. And I think it's stuff that people use to try and sound more intelligent than they are. I think there was a boy that I follow on, I think he follows the Longbangers account. He was a guy that got a wee bit of popularity a couple of years back because he tweeted the Sunshine and Leith video. Guy's name's Lewis Wiltshire. I think he's worked with the BBC before.
BBC guy.
Yeah.
Aye, he talked about there's a trend now where commentators will say, oh, like, as Rio Ferdinand, for example, just alluded to. Like, he never alluded to anything. He said something. Like, there's no inside joke. There's no inside knowledge to be gained. He said something. Well, it was obvious.
As Rio Ferdinand said.
Dead.
That's it. It's like the word you say literally, isn't it?
Aye.
Oh,
You just fire it in there, or the other one you get a lot of folks saying they're now super extra. So I'm super excited and I'm super pleased to say, like, you're just excited, mate. Like,
really
you've got to
excited.
exaggerate the like. You're already using excited as a word.
So not quite the same thing, right? But one of my ones is LinkedIn's worse for it. Delighted to say, or delighted to be nominated for Cunt of the Year. And it's not I'm delighted to be, just delighted to be, proud to be. I don't know why that annoys me, but read it as I can scroll past.
I don't know if this will get me in bother, but I think LinkedIn was a mystery to me for a while, and then I got involved in it and I looked at it. Like, I don't look at it in the way that I fuck about on Twitter, for example. Like, it's basically to kind of like show who I worked with. Like, I know that that's what LinkedIn's for, but LinkedIn has started to become a wee bit of a cesspit as well, and a cesspit in as much as, do you see the thing about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his severance package for Man United, that he was going to donate the £7.5 million severance package for Man United to charity? I was like, well, that sounds awfully generous. I'm going to have a wee bit of dig about for it. There's absolutely fuck all mention of it anywhere, and it's getting shared on LinkedIn. This fucking bastion of professionalism and networking. It's fucking bullshit. And if LinkedIn isn't safe for that, nothing's safe for it. It might as well just no fucking be there.
Copy and paste a tweet about something and post it as if they've written it, because I've seen folk pull it up and go, there's another 50 times it's been said.
I mean, I was having a think about this. So you'll not have seen it, Colin. You'll maybe have seen it in like a message that someone's taken a screenshot of, but you've maybe seen I think it's a video. No, sorry, it's a picture of a lorry that on the back it says pallets wanted. And it's got a lorry in front of it that's got a whole load of pallets on it. And someone's saying, like, I really want to see how this chase ends up. If you've seen that once, you've seen it easily 50 times. There should be this thing on the internet called a patter patent, where the first person that ever comes up with that joke gets to fucking log it. so that I didn't have to wade through this fucking tweet. I can go and credit the original person and say that was really funny.
Not know what these NFTs are.
I think so. Maybe aye. No, I don't
You
fucking
can
know.
claim the original tweet. Say that was mine. I own it.
All right.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
What was the
Will I
joke
buy
then
any more
anyway with the
tweets?
pallets?
Right,
What was the joke with the pallets?
There's a
There's
lorry
a-
with loads of pallets on it,
Aye,
and then there's
right.
behind it there's a little lorry that says pallets wanted.
Right.
And I think
So
the punchline
it looks like
to
it's
it was,
chasing.
Ah, right. Yeah, that's
Right.
funny. Yeah.
it was funny the first time, but
Oh shit, lost my place. LinkedIn shite. I don't like LinkedIn at all. Anyway,
I'm back
you
off
can't
it
have
again.
the same fun on LinkedIn as you have on Twitter's the best place for social media. I didn't get Instagram at all. Just to see the points, photos. TikTok's a young man's game. Right, that's no for me. Twitter is for where the dads go in it, like for a bit of banter. Facebook
I
shite.
saw. So I think Hibs had released some videos the day or yesterday about some of the new signings, and one of them was obviously on, or a couple of them were on TikTok, and I think there was some folk that were maybe a wee bit, I don't know if upset's the right word, but they were like, well, I get my news off like Twitter or Facebook, and like, what the fuck is this TikTok? I think someone had said to their mate, well, TikTok's for fucking bairns or pedos, which one are you?
Right, Stephen Bell said folk who park in the same spot all the time, regardless of the impact on other road users. Also, folk that park in a bay at a supermarket that results in them having to load their boot a boy-hair away from your car, rather than just having the boot facing towards a bigger space.
Came I had yesterday. I was doing it straight in, and there was a car. So I'm trying to get. You kind of straight in's tiny. I don't know if you've been the
Aye.
last time you were there, but the spaces are fucking tiny. Must have been done when cars were a lot smaller, eh? But I was coming out, and so it's a wee road down. There was a car had pulled out to fill his boot. So he had reversed into the space and obviously couldn't get his boot open. Just drove out, pushed about with his trolley, unloading it, trolley back round. I'm sitting there trying to get out. Thinking, what are you doing? Why did you reverse in? Fucking hell. Anyway, it's another one
Right.
for me.
Yeah. We Mogs Bon Jovi.
Not a fan. I think he's overrated.
No, I couldn't tell you a Bon Jovi song these days. Even if I try to remember old ones for Bon
Living on a
Jovi,
prayer.
was that Bon Jovi?
I hope so, because of I don't know.
It was Bon Jovi.
Mal Bergen said, "People saying it is what it is. Fucking hate that saying." I say that sometimes,
Aye, because you're a manager, so you need to keep your staff. We are where we are. Fuck off.
What was it? Was there ever anything that existed before it is what it is, or like what are you going to do about it? What
Just
can
get
we
on
do?
with it. Cunt. Hey, cunt. Just get on with it. Fucking shut your fucking mouth. Right, but you can't say that to folk anymore.
It's replaced by it is what it is. Aye.
I'm not
Stop
happy with it
fucking
either.
moaning. Aye.
I always think it's one where it's like, listen, we both agree it's shite, but let's face it, nobody's going to do anything about it. So
That's basically what you're saying. You're
Aye,
saying you think
yeah.
it's shite and you agree with them without saying it's shite, and I agree with you.
it is what it is. Belden Lascar, the first 5 minutes of a Zoom call. Can you hear me okay? Yep, no, I can hear you. Yep, okay now. Now I can't. Hang on. More or less every time while someone squints, clicking at the screen, trying to find the unmute button.
It's mad, the mute thing, eh? How do you know
That's
you're-
life now, though, isn't it? We work in.
Yeah.
We had it earlier on in a call where somebody's sound just went and they couldn't fix it, and they got another device and they did that thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever FaceTime somebody in the same room as you, just to see if your phone's working or whatever, and it does that sort of echoey thing where
Aye.
it echoes.
Is it the one
and
that
then
sounds a
gives,
wee bit like
feedback.
sonar?
Aye. So we had that happening, but I still do it now. See, when we join the Zoom call and it says somebody's come on and you see them first, it says they're connecting to audio, which means they can't hear you yet. But I will still say fucking hello to them, and then go as I'm saying it. Can you hear me?
Aye, but see when you're talking, like the amount of people that start talking, and then you've got to go, you're on mute, right? And it's like, how do you not know you're on mute? Like it tells you that you can see it.
Aye.
If you stick yourself on mute, if I do, I've got a wee fucking hang there, a wee red microphone that comes up saying I'm on mute.
Yep.
You've been on mute when you've been blowing your nose earlier on.
Aye.
It's like it fucking tells you you're on mute. How do you not know? Why are you starting to talk? 2 years in.
Is it? Well, I suppose if it's 2 years in, like, folks should probably know better. But I think in this environment, like, there's just the three of us, it's a bit easier. Whereas if you've got bigger meetings with like 15, 20 folk, you know what it's like when there's background noise going on. Like, you can hear everyone. Like, I've been on calls where I've heard traffic rumbling past. There's been deliveries to the door. There's been kids running about. Like 2 years in, folks still can't put. I think that's one of the problems as well. Is some people are on mute too much, and other people aren't on mute enough.
Aye.
2 years in. This is
Aye.
cathartic. What else can we
Is
more
it?
about?
I can.
I've
Well,
got
Mike's-
a list.
We're out of time. I'll read one more. In fact, two more because they're both from Mike. It says people not acknowledging and thanking you that you've let them in really pisses me off. So much so that I wish I had a Gatling gun fitted to the truck. Quite an extreme response to it, but it is annoying when somebody doesn't acknowledge it. And
I'm
why
really
is it
interested to know why he's gone for Gatling gun. Of all the military hardware that I know that Mike is familiar with, why is he gone for something that was available in the First World War? That, if I remember rightly, you need both hands to operate.
manners were better in the time of the First World War. Folk kept their pleas and thank yous and that. So it's maybe just
It's a
taking them back to that
gentlemanly
time.
way to machine gun someone to death.
Aye.
It's frustrating though, isn't it? I mean, he's talking about what's in the motorway and the lorry. I'm even thinking my road, just a long road going out. There's cars parked on both sides, so you're sort of zigzagging. And the amount of folk that didn't just give you that
Aye, we
wave
waved.
when you let them. So I waved to everybody now. Whether I think, you know what, I've let you. I'm waving before you wave to me.
You did a
just
more
to say-
exaggerated wave when they didn't.
Aye. Yeah,
Aye.
I'm waving. I'm waving either way here. Like it's no.
See, during
I'm not
the
letting you
winter
ignore me.
months, and it's dark early, do you get like the wee sort of momentary flash of the high beams?
Aye.
Yeah.
Mike's other one is, why is it acceptable for my wife to put on social media that she's watched a film last night and went through a whole box of tissues? However, when I do it, I'm called a dirty bastard.
Yeah.
Audience are the best, Mike. Yeah, audience are the best. Right, that's us out of time for that episode. We'll be back with another one shortly. Till then, catch you later.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.